Here's a little impromptu video about my switch, its design, how it's assembled, and some of its benefits. This is the order of assembly, and these discs here are carved from a piece of solid Delrin, drilled and tapped as necessary. And the first order of assembly would be to assemble the stud to the outer disc as tight as you can get it. Then this is the keeper for the spring and contact. Keeper and contact has two functions. Then install the spring and the ball. And there's quite a bit of work goes into this piece here, as you can see. The contacts are made with 632 screws, nuts, and ring terminals that are more or less attached to it, plus the mounting studs, which are more or less attached to this as well, and aren't supposed to come off. They're captured. Like that. The spring is important to keep contact between the common here and the stud. The stud feeds the current to the individual contacts through the stud and through this piece here in the spring and ball. So, do this about so tight. This is another piece of Delrin that is comes as a tubing that I tap at 1/4-20, and then I make this piece here from a piece of 1/4-inch brass stock and thread at 1/4-20 on one side and 8/32 on the other. That goes on. Then the pointer goes on. The switch comes in two versions. The earlier Pancakes don't have a pointer, and so they don't have to be aligned like I'm doing right now. I'm aligning the pointer with the contact here, which is a common, so that when the switch is mounted, the pointer is in the correct position. And then you tighten the jam nut up against the insulator. That's pretty close. And now you have a switch. This one's a little tight, so I'm going to adjust it. Probably by half. It's more like it. And when you go to install this thing, you have to align these holes up with the mounting screws. And let's get that a little better. So you have access with a screwdriver through these holes to mount it onto the back plate of the fan. And when you do that, you want to align the common, which is, I've labeled all these per the schematic that you get with a Sartron speed coil. The same numbers that from the speed coil would go to the same terminals here. Makes it straightforward when you go to solder them in. So when you mount this into the back of the fan, the common terminal should face up, because that's where the pointer is aligned to. And that's about it for this guy. I've made 5 of these. one's in my fan, and I love the way it works. It's got a much higher quality feel than the original switch. The switch shaft is actually very firmly attached. It's not wobble around like original ones, and if the action of the switch it's got a higher quality feel than the original switch. And also I've designed it so that you can't turn it backwards without removing the knob, just like the original switch. And so once installed, the switch should be indistinguishable from an original switch in the way that it looks and also the way that it functions.